Mr. Chancellor, Mr. President, members of the graduating class, faculty, family, and friends. Fiona Sampson is a graduate of Trent University and one we are extremely proud of. She has pioneered equality law in Canada and led international efforts to secure rights for girls and women in other countries. An accomplished scholar, a passionate advocate for human rights, and an inspired organizer, she represents Trent's commitment to an education of critical thinking about the world and a desire to change it for the better. Fiona has a master's degree from Trent in Canadian Heritage and Development Studies, now the MA in Canadian Studies and Indigenous Studies. She completed a law degree at Queen's and a PhD in law at Osgoode Hall, York University, specializing in women's equality law. As a human rights lawyer, she has dedicated her career to the pursuit of legal justice for disadvantaged groups, refugees, disabled persons, First Nations, and victims of violence. Fiona served as an advisor to organizations dedicated to legal equality, such as the Women's Legal and Education Fund. She has appeared before the Supreme Court of Canada representing women's and NGOs' equality rights cases, and she has published extensively on disability, gender, and other legal discrimination issues. Fiona serves as an appointed member of the Ontario Human Rights Commission and is CEO of the Equality Effect, an organization she founded in 2008. The work of the Equality Effect is truly inspiring, and for the girls and women it has aided life-changing. Drawing together a team of activists, lawyers, and academics, the organization works collaboratively with teams from other countries to use human rights law to ensure that girls and women can be safe from sexual violence, get an education, and fulfill their economic potential. The Equality Effect responds to requests for collaboration, making legal counsel and support available to groups seeking legal justice. It has secured international recognition and praise for its various projects, such as the 160 Girls case in Kenya. Here, Fiona led her team to a 2013 landmark victory from the Kenyan High Court, which found that the state's failure to protect girls from rape was unconstitutional and violated their human rights. Realizing that a legal decision is only as good as its implementation, the Equality Effect is now following up with strategies to empower young women, change attitudes, and make law enforcement accountable. Fiona has received many awards and much recognition for her human rights work within Canada and on the world stage. She was named one of 25 top most influential lawyers in Canada, top 5 on the world stage by Canadian Lawyer magazine, and one of 50 global heroes working to end violence against children. In 2015, she was appointed as a member of the Order of Canada. Fiona Sampson's national and international work for human rights, her leadership on equality issues, and her long history of activism in the service of the disadvantaged make her an excellent choice for this degree. Mr. Chancellor, it gives me great pleasure to present for the degree of Law's Honours Causa, Fiona Sampson.
Congratulations. I'm very pleased now to ask Fiona to address Convocation.
Thank you. Merci. Asante sana. Chemegwech. English, French, Swahili, and Ojibwe. Most importantly, right at this moment, Ojibwe, an acknowledgement of the fact that we are gathering on the traditional Anishinaabe territory today. One of the things that I learned at Trent in my career here was the importance of language and culture and equality. And so in the work that I do in Kenya now, working with girls to advance human rights, it's really important for me to be able to connect with the beneficiaries of the work. So I've been trying to improve my Swahili, the primary language spoken in Kenya, sometimes with limited success. Always trying, but sometimes with limited success. And I have been known to take a very straightforward phrase like, hello, I'm in room 19, and mangle that into, hello, I have 19 vaginas. So I'm going to stick to English for the rest of my remarks today. So as I understand it, my job today is to share some words of wisdom about the value of the education that you've just received here at Trent, to maybe share a few insights into the utility of that education as you go into what we sometimes call the real world, and also to celebrate the accomplishment that we're marking today, and to celebrate all the support and love that you've received from your friends and family. These are turbulent times, and I feel the pressure maybe more than ever to try and share with you some meaningful and valuable insights and words of guidance. So I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity to take a page from another learning that I took away from Trent, working mostly with Indigenous communities. And I'm going to use a communications methodology that I've benefited from lots since acquiring it here, and that is storytelling. So I'm going to tell you a story of one of my most formative experiences here at Trent, and then take 3 key ideas from that story that I hope will be of some value to you as you go out into your post-Trent life. So when I arrived at Trent, I was a fairly green academic. I was very new still to academia. I think I had potential. I had academic potential, but you had to dig deep to find that potential. And I met professors here, as I'm sure you've met, who personified the passion for teaching, and they dug deep and they found my academic potential. So when I was doing my MA thesis on Ontario Aboriginal law and policy, we worked together, and I completed the traditional means of research fairly quickly, and then it became apparent that I needed to do something more creative and a little more innovative. So it was decided that I would go to connect with one of the communities that was at the center of the research that I was doing. So I headed north to the traditional lands of the Temagama and Anishinaabe, and I arrived in the band office on the Bear Island Reserve. And there have been some communications, I think, that had transpired before I arrived there, but it was pretty casual in terms of the organization. So I arrived in this band office, and this band was at the center of a huge legal controversy at that point in time, and there was a big celebrity factor attached to the land claim that was at the center of this legal action, and the chief at the time, Chief Gary Potts, was working very closely with Robert Redford and other celebrities. Chief Potts really understood the need to be creative in social justice advocacy. So he was working with the law, and the band was using the law, but also using public relations. So I'm waiting in the band office, and Chief Potts is finishing a call, and he comes out to meet me. And I was in for 3 surprises that I was not expecting at that point. So Chief Potts came out to meet me, and he was very charismatic. And he said what a pleasure it was to meet me, and that he had reviewed all my research that I'd completed to date. And he said that I was the only non-Anishinaabe person that he knew who had actually gotten it right in terms of their history and their culture and the relevance of the land claim that was the focus of the work that I was interested in. So that was hugely flattering for me, and it's really a milestone moment for me, and I was immediately grateful to the professors that had got me that far in my research. So that was a welcome surprise. The next surprise was Chief Potts asked me what I wanted to do while I was there for the summer. And that was a surprise because I thought it had been organized, but it turned out that it was flexible. So I said, maybe I could help with the land claim. And he said, no, we've got a bunch of lawyers working on that. What else can you do? So this was the third surprise. I said, well, really, I don't know how to do anything. All I've ever done is work with children. I've worked, at summer camps. And he said, excellent. He said, we've got an island full of kids running around here that need something to do. He said, you work with those kids, and you'll get the research that you need for your master's thesis. And I remember thinking at that time, I was like, I don't think so. but maybe. So I remember walking back to the teacher's house where I was being billeted for the summer that turned into an amazing 3-year experience, and thinking, anything could happen. And Chief Potts was right. I connected with those kids and learned so much from those kids running a children's program for which there was no funding. It was all sort of us making it up as we went along. And through the kids, getting to know and really develop very, very deep relationships with their families and their elders, and developing a sense of trust to the extent that they adopted me into the community and gave me access to knowledge and learnings that I would never otherwise have been able to access. And it made for a research project that I think was incredibly enriching for me, and I hope contributed to the dialogue around Aboriginal law in Canada that was of benefit to Indigenous peoples everywhere. So it was an experience that started out as a bit of an unknown, but ultimately hugely enriching for me. So there are 3 ideas that I want to take from this experience and this story to share with you as you go forward. The first is the value of intellectual curiosity. And you'll have developed a huge sense of your intellectual curiosity is what got you here today. And in these turbulent times, I would encourage you to never abandon that sense of critical thinking and going to the why. Never let that go. Never accept the superficial as an analysis or a response. Another important learning for me at Trent was the value of interdisciplinary thinking. And I saw a piece of art recently, and art is a great way to layer your thinking. And I saw a piece of art recently that reminded me of some of what I had learned at Trent in terms of critical thinking. It was a Douglas Copeland piece. And the focus of this piece was, I miss my pre-internet brain. And I think I love the internet. Like, I couldn't do the work that I do internationally without the internet. But I think to think slowly is a huge luxury now. So try and take advantage of any opportunity to think slowly and think critically about any opportunity that you're exposed to. So that slow thinking can take you to my next idea, which is the value of innovation. And innovation is a bit of a buzzword. It's maybe overused, sometimes called disruptive thinking now. We used to call it thinking outside the box. But really, I think to think outside the box, you need to live outside the box. And embracing those opportunities that are unexpected and unknown can be amazing. But they can create discomfort. And you'll know that discomfort when you feel it. And I say this as though I really know how to do this, which I don't. My family and my friends can attest to the fact that I face this discomfort with a sincere lack of grace sometimes. But you embrace those moments of the unknown and of discomfort, and they will lead you to challenges and to opportunities to create change that you never imagined. And they could lead to opportunities that result in failure. And you have to be prepared for that failure. But this leads me to my third point. You'll have behind you amazing pit crews that got you to where you are today. And it's this idea of a pit crew or relationships, building and maintaining relationships that will support you as you go forward, that'll make all the difference. I speak from experience with my friends and my family that are here today that have made all the difference. You need people who will feed your intellectual curiosity and who will support your sense of innovation. and they'll be your pit crews for you. They'll be there to celebrate with you today, like today, when you succeed, and they'll be there to cushion any failure that you have along the way on that path to success. So in closing, I'd like to take a moment to celebrate those relationships, the professors who have guided you and inspired you, the family members who have loved you and nourished you, your friends who have supported you, and I hope, like my friends, made you laugh and kept you from being too earnest. So to all of them and to you, I say congratulations, félicitations, maisha merifu, and I try to say gichi apelten dagwad, all of which I hope is good, clean English, French, Swahili, and Ojibwe for congratulations.